the best way to start off our 2021 look back is not necessarily with the best film, which we will go and talk about, but the film. Does anybody know what the highest grossing domestic box office film was of 2021?
Spider-Man.
I will
Spider-Man.
guess
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
No Way Home, correct. It was the number one.
It was, what was it? One of the highest grossing films of all time, wasn't it? 23rd or something?
Something like that. It was, and it came out in what?
I think it's actually hit
Third.
third now.
Wow. It came out, did it come out in December? So that's
Yeah.
quite impressive to come out in the last month and be number one.
Did we all see that really good Letterboxd review that said, imagine this film without the internet? How much? I think the idea being that it would have been a lot better without.
Yeah,
the
but I
internet.
didn't know that stuff was going to happen.
Well, I mean, in like interviews and stuff, Tom Holland said there was like a plan that he knew immediately wouldn't work, but they thought in the marketing they were only going to show like him and Doctor Strange and no one else. So they were planning to make it like this massive surprise event, but because everyone knows everything nowadays.
But the
And they
thing is,
showed
in
the
the
trailer.
trailer, they showed what
Doc
was it?
Ock.
Yeah.
Doc Ock.
So it was kind of like if you didn't want anyone to guess that or even predict it or even spill it, why not just take all of that elements out in the trailer?
Yeah. Or even better, in the trailer they should have just shown like Sandman and Lizard Man, and everyone would have been like, "Oh, jeez."
No, don't even show anything from the metaverse. Just show it as a Tom Holland Spider-Man film.
Or yeah.
I feel like the issue with that is like in the lead up to it, most people knew what was going to happen. So if they didn't
guess
show
so.
that, and if they kind of went the method of not showing everything, people would still be going on about the fact that they were in it, regardless of that. And then if you just satiate them with a little bit, that's what they did in the film. Like spoilers, I guess they like showed the villains, and then they left the other Spideys for the actual movie. And that's what people got mental over.
The other Spideys for the last half an hour of the movie, yeah.
Oh, but wasn't it cute when the three of them were all together?
It was really nicely done. Actually, it was for people I think our age and maybe very slightly older as well. It was a real like summary of our Spider-Man experiences. And when Andrew Garfield saved,
I was just
MJ,
I was just about to say that. Like that was a moment, and then she's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "You okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, are you okay?"
And he's like, "Yeah, that was really nice because they kind of got to finish his art that he never got to finish because he never got a third film."
Yeah, but all of that pales in comparison to Daredevil showing up. So I was the most excited about that. It was me and like 10 other people, like, woo!
The whooper in the cinema.
Well, no, just for that bit. It was literally just for that
the
bit.
guy next to me, I went and saw it. Who did I see it with the first? Oh, I saw it with you, James.
Yeah, me.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, James just said Jimmy, you just said the guy next to me.
No,
It was James?
The guy on the other side was there by himself, and him and James were having a battle to see who could be more excited about everything. So, and I was just sitting there like.
But yeah, I'm excited to see the multiverse be explored a little bit more in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness, yeah. Which they decided they were like, let's do away with a post-credit scene. Let's just have a trailer at the end of our film. Like,
oh my god, it literally was. So, moving away from Spider-Man, who wants to kick us off with some 2021 bangers?
I can get the obvious one out of the way.
Yeah, go on.
I won't spend hours talking about it because I spoke about it last year. In every episode.
Promising young woman.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that, and I made a note of it because I was like, Jimmy will mention it, so I'll make sure to note it down.
The standout of 2021. That's probably all I need to say, really.
You still stand by that, then?
Well, was that 2021 that film? Because I wanted to ask, because American release dates and UK release dates are very different. So, does that count as 2021?
We live in the UK.
Are we going by UK release dates? I assume we are because we are in the UK.
Film.
I would assume so, yeah.
It
that
was
makes
released
sense.
in the UK 2021, I assume.
Well, yeah, we watched it and reviewed it for our Oscar.
2021.
Yeah.
What the wiki says is that it had a Sundance debut on January 25th, 2020, and then it was released on Christmas Day in America in 2020.
But it was at the.
So technically, it's 2020.
When I saw it on Sky, the year was year of our Lord 2021, and that's what I'm going off. And nothing beat that film for me that year.
And we've spoken about Promising Young Woman a lot, so we won't deep dive
Let's
into
move
it.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
need
it.
to do
We'll
that,
never
Jimmy.
speak
Yeah,
about
This
good
is
it.
a
film.
new year. No
No
more
more,
Promising Young
Jimmy.
Woman. I'll
Good
watch
film,
something
good
else.
writing.
No more Promising Young Woman. No more Suspiria. No more of that.
We're a
All of the
changed
ones we keep bringing up are gone.
podcast.
We've all matured. We've all grown.
Yeah.
So,
What was your pick, Emma, of 2021?
I picked Encanto.
Oh.
Well,
Really?
look, hear me out. Not as like a complete 2021 standout as like the best film ever, but I thought, you know what? I'll throw something that I know the boys won't talk about, because I mean, Jimmy doesn't like animation. This doesn't strike me as a Noah sort of film, and James probably
I
won't
might
mention
watch
it. I just thought,
Yeah, I did see it.
I mean, you kind of have to talk about it because like it's dominating the music charts every week at the moment somehow.
Which I find it completely mental that has been the case, because like I saw it when like on Boxing Day, which was like the day after or when it came out, and then I listened to the song knowing it was kind of popular, and I was like, oh okay, yeah, the music in this is good. And then apparently it's like overtaken Let It Go as like the most popular Disney song ever.
I don't get what it is.
It's good music.
There's a magic family, and they all got
The family
superpowers,
Madrigal.
and they live in Colombia.
Yeah, basically, and one of the girls doesn't have magic power, and she has to figure out how to save the magic.
That's really cool. If I'd known that was the plot, I probably would have watched it.
You can
You
watch
can
it on
watch
Disney
it.
Plus.
Well,
What's
yeah,
stopping
all right.
you?
You win this round, people. No, I can't get Disney Plus on my bedroom telly.
So yeah,
That was
that's. I just thought I'd mention Encanto because I thought it was good.
I'll have to watch that.
I watched a lot of documentaries as well. Today,
Tell us about one.
Just documentary films.
What did you watch that were documentary?
Okay. Well, the biggie was probably the Beatles documentary.
Oh yeah.
Which was on the Disney Plus as well, weirdly.
Is it
They
Don't
had
Look
to put
Back?
up a little notice
Not
board
sponsored by
saying it
Disney.
included smoking. So yeah, I don't know if anyone knows much about it, but it was Peter Jackson found all this footage and basically got together with old Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and helped to show this all this amazing footage of them back in the day. It covers when they when it's January 1969, I think, and they basically get told to record a live album and perform it live, perform these new songs at a specific date. And it's the director from 1969 doing it is called Michael Lindsay Hogg, who is rumoured to be Orson Welles' son. Now, you're probably wondering why I say rumoured. We don't actually know, but he did a DNA test and it was inconclusive. But anyway, so yeah, you get all this amazing footage. It's about 7-8 hours long, and you just get to see the boys, the Beatles, doing their thing, writing these songs. You get to see the early versions, like them recording "Let It Be" and all that.
It's 8 hours
and then,
long.
There's lots of footage. I think each part's like 2 hours and 2.5 hours long. I think.
I assumed it was just a 90-minute film. I didn't know it was it's like a mini series.
Loads
There's
of footage.
It's split into 3 parts, and
right.
a lot of it is kind of repetitive because it is just them joking around, going through their songs. But if you're a Beatles fan, you'd obviously really love it. If you're not, you probably wouldn't bother. But it's great to see the build up because it leads to them when they perform that rooftop concert aboard the EMI studios in London. And that's really good. That bit you get to see the police walk in and be like, "What's going on here?" And you get to see the interviews with people on the ground, and like, "Who is it?" And they're like the Beatles, and they're like, "Oh, I like them." You get to see some fun 1969 Londoners. It's great.
It's kind of like them right at the end, isn't it? I don't know how much longer the Beatles went on after that, which is really fascinating.
It's crazy that they just managed to just find it, and it's like not been used before.
Well, yeah, it makes you think how long they've been sitting on it.
Peter Jackson always finds this amazing footage. I mean, he did They Shall Not Grow Old just a few years ago, didn't he,
Yeah.
as well?
Oh, that was good. That was really good.
The footage from this is all restored, and it's. I know it was all in 4K. The stuff from what I saw, I couldn't believe how good it looked for
Oh yeah, it looks unbelievable.
for what is
really.
essentially 70-year-old. Is that maths right? No, 50-year-old.
Crazy stuff.
Talking about old.
Yeah. Aren't we getting old?
No. What about that? Did you guys ever see the film Old?
Oh, isn't that the new
The
M Night?
the Shyamalan
Oh,
one.
The
Yeah,
Shamalama Ding
that-
Dong, yeah.
Do you know what?
yeah.
I enjoyed that, but I heard like a lot of people thought it was weird.
I didn't see it.
I did not see it either. It's one that I'm waiting.
I did not have any inclination to watch
What?
that.
But why?
What's the story?
Because it's
I
M
mean,
Night
he's not had a
Shyamalan.
good track record, has he?
True.
Old
The story
So-
basically.
If it was Michael Bay, would you watch it? No.
True. The story basically was this family go on a beach, and there's something on the beach that makes them age, so they can't get off the beach, and the like parents like so basically the teenagers age quicker, and then all of a sudden they're like almost adults. One of them gets pregnant and blah blah blah, blah. And then
Okay.
everything, and essentially, yeah, that's it. They get old.
Do they
And then-
explain why?
yes.
Or is it a mystery? Ooh.
So, but yeah,
Would
no.
it-
Some people
would it-
didn't like it, but I thought it was alright.
I was really curious about it because M Night Shyamalan does make good stuff sometimes.
Hit or miss.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, he's one of the
Impressed,
only
though.
directors. Well, I say one of the only, but like probably one of the more popular directors who goes out of his way to make like entirely original
True.
works.
Yeah, 100%.
Like even if they're not good, they're more
His.
more interesting.
Yeah.
In terms of like what the concepts are.
However, the Beatles musical documentary wasn't the best musical documentary of last year.
Oh.
Oh wow, what a
What
tangent!
was?
It
Go
was, of course, Summer of Soul, or How the Revolution Was Not Televised, in
Ooh.
brackets.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch
Which,
that one.
if you're not familiar with, is also in 1969 and was about a festival called the Harlem Culture Festival, which everybody forgot about. Nobody knew about it because it happened the same year as Woodstock. And this is a festival that was all black artists and was basically all a black crowd because it was in Harlem. And it's pretty amazing. Like the footage that they found. You have Stevie Wonder there at the age of 19 years old. You have B.B. King, Nina Simone. You have all these great artists, and this footage, nobody ever found it. It was all just sort of tucked away. Everybody forgot about it because Woodstock happened, a largely white festival. Crazy. That is really worth an amazing bit where one of the as talking heads, and one of the guys was an attendee there. And he was really young, and he's like talking to the director who was also there, and he was like, "Oh, so it did happen," and he starts getting teary because he was like, "I thought it was all my imagination. It is real." How amazing is that? That's the best part of it, I think, that one little bit. But that was probably one of my top things I watched last year.
I guess that leaves Jamo, doesn't it?
I do want to talk about how Spencer was actually probably one of the tip of the best.
Oh my
films
god,
last
yeah.
year. But that's a film. That's a film rather than a documentary
What?
film.
Spencer, as in the Diana Spencer film.
Yep, that film.
Yes.
You seen it?
Not even.
Can we
Not
talk
even
about it,
Bowie.
Emma?
It was in the
Spencer.
cinema.
What?
Not when I went. It weren't. Spencer.
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 As in
like,
Diana
Spencer.
Spencer.
who's that?
Princess
Oh.
Diana.
Oh,
What?
right.
Oh, you fucking
Oh
go.
my god.
Diana Spencer.
Well, I was not supposed to know. And
Because
then
so I thought it was an
first
interesting.
name. Sorry.
Diana Spencer is obviously everyone knows The Crown, and there's Diana in The Crown. So it's not like there hasn't ever been a representation on screen of Princess Diana, but to have like the whole film I thought it was really good.
But what about the 2012 Naomi Watts film? That
Oh yes, of course. What's it
it was
called,
called
Jimmy?
Diana.
Oh yeah.
Was it called,
Yeah, first name Princess, second name Diana.
Well, this was the
However,
sequel, Spencer.
Kirsten Stewart plays Diana Spencer in this one, and she's bloody
Yeah.
good in it.
It's James. I want to know what James's favourite film was now.
Okay, yeah, James.
Oh,
I reckon. Can I guess?
I mean, you can have a guess if you
Well,
really want to.
So it's just an educated guess
I know what it is.
because
Yeah.
you said when we were doing an episode that you thought this film was going to be your top one of 2021, and that was Last Night in Soho.
And it would be the obvious pick. However, there was a film that actually edged it out.
No.
Even though Last Night in Soho is an Edgar Wright movie, so it's an immediate win for me. But there was just some really, really good movies last year that I never expected to like as much as I did, and then they ended up being great. Judas and the Black Messiah was another really good one. And The Green Knight as well was quite good.
I hated
especially in terms of the visuals.
You
hated it?
Passionately, but I'm a fan of the original story, not that version.
You're a fan of the Arthurian legend, but you're not a fan of the film.
Yeah, look, it's King Arthur. I've got a full bronze statue of King Arthur. Yeah.
But why?
My parents got it for me from Mont Saint Michel in France because I'm a fan of King Arthur stuff. I love the Arthurian mythos and that. Anyway, sorry, Joe. Sorry to do it.
But yeah, I feel like if we're talking about films that came out in 2021 and were the best of the best, I think my pick has to be The French Dispatch. Because it was literally somehow every time Wes Anderson releases a new film, it somehow ends up as my new favorite Wes Anderson film. And I think this one, just in terms of its storytelling, because it's not just about like one thing. Like obviously it's about sort of like this magazine called The French Dispatch, and they have like their own little anthology stories within it. Sorry. But it's also about just like storytelling as a medium and how it's used like just in life. And oh my god, I could just gush about that film. Like obviously being an anthology, some of the stories are stronger than others. Like everyone kind of agrees that the middle one's probably the weakest. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad because it has some of the best use of that theme of storytelling in it. But yeah, it was just it kind of blew me away. Like he's really honed his craft to a point where he can make everything just like a visual feast for the eyes. Like he's so inventive with the way he shoots that film, and it is such a depressing fact that it got nominated for literally nothing at any of the awards. Which
they don't mean anything, James. They don't mean anything.
We already know they don't mean anything. Just watch our Oscar episode.
Even if it doesn't necessarily mean they don't mean anything. But it's just I feel like the people who made that film should be rewarded for the work that they've done, and the fact that they don't get anything is just it makes me a bit sad. But yeah, French Dispatch is just so good, so good.
Okay, did anyone? Oh, don't worry, I was going to do a segue, but I don't think we're at that stage yet.
I think we might be.
What was the segue going to be?
Yeah, I was going to say the only film I've made a note that I might want to mention is not a film that I necessarily enjoyed. It was, I think, the biggest letdown, personally, of.
Biggest disappointment.
Just a very quick mention. It's Venom. Let There Be Carnage. I didn't expect it to be great. Okay, let me put that out there. I expected it to be fun and just like a cool movie to go to the cinema with family, but I thought it was really boring, and I didn't think it was a good film, and that's why it's my biggest letdown of 21.
I think the first Venom isn't good, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. And then going into this film, I thought it would just be
I've seen half of it. It's so fun. It's not good. You're right, but it is quite fun.
It's fun because you get to watch Tom Hardy.
Yeah, and I thought that might be something that went forward in the second film, and the plot didn't really make sense either.
And it was so unfortunate. Just the one thing that made me want to believe this film would actually be decent is it said it was only 90 minutes long. And when a film's usually 90 minutes, that means it really compacts everything down and the pacing's like snappy, snappy. And with this, it's so like bloody meandering and boring. Like nothing really goes on. And like Woody Harrelson is just like completely wasted in this film. Like he doesn't really get a chance to be like a proper weird kooky character. He's like it's literally like someone told him, it's like, oh, you have to play like a weird kooky guy. It's like, how do you want me to play him? And they're like, I don't know if I can know. Just pick.
Anyone else have a big disappointment of 21?
I got one really shit 2021 release I'll mention
Yeah, go on.
briefly.
Go
Which
for
is
it.
it's even more baffling because going into this film, apparently people were saying it was really good, and I was like, oh, yeah, sure, it's available, I'll watch it, and it was just pure fucking trash. And it was Free Guy with Ryan
Oh my
Reynolds.
god. Yes, it was awful.
Oh,
Really?
it was
I've heard it's really
terrible.
good.
It was so awful. No, like that exactly. That's what I heard as well. People were saying, "Oh yeah, it's decent," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll watch a
It's
decent movie." And it was so painfully just poorly made. Like everyone in like the making of that film just seems like completely inept in the understanding of what they're even supposed to be doing. That it's just so bad,
it's quite
man,
all over the
man.
place.
It was just
It's a
rough.
fun idea.
Badly
Yeah,
executed.
and they don't do nothing with it. They don't really do anything
Yeah.
exciting with it. It's just so boring. Like, and visually, it's just like all CGI mess. And apparently, it got nominated for an Oscar because that apparently is what gets
Wow.
nominations nowadays.
On,
I know, right?
on a very
Mental.
similar vein, did anyone go see The Matrix? Yes, we've made another one.
No.
No.
No, okay,
But I
that's good
watched
to
the
know.
but when it was being about to be released, I actually started watching the Matrix series for the first time ever.
Oh, go on quickly. What did you think of all three?
I really enjoyed it. It was a bit
Nice.
confusing to begin with, but then I was told that you were supposed to be confused, and then I wasn't so confused.
You were supposed to be confused.
Yeah.
I'm not
Fine.
confused. That's good. Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah. It's just Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's
Down the
sort
rabbit
of
hole.
gist of it, and you kind of just
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a big year for the old television series, wasn't it? A certain little Squid Game came
Yeah.
out.
Nah.
Squiddy. The
Me and
Squid
James
Game became massive, didn't it?
for like 2 weeks, and
It
and now
certainly did.
now no one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, that's probably
But
fair.
that's
But I
with
thought-
any craze, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why it took off so much because it wasn't like it was that original. It's effectively, I guess it's kind of like Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
Entirely that. But
I
with
think it's because it came out on Netflix in a time where everyone was binging Netflix, and it's if you're an everyday Western viewer, you don't necessarily dive into foreign cinema, so you wouldn't be watching Battle Royale. You might have, the closest you'd seen is probably Hunger Games, and then to see this thing that's like modern and a bit different, and it was quite violent, and it was available to watch, available to binge. It kind of ticks a lot of boxes.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people watched it dubbed as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it was a bit more palatable for them, which is a very
That's
disturbing
madness,
thought.
that
that
we
is.
people would
we
do
watched
that,
it
but-
dubbed. That's the first thing I've ever seen all the way through dubbed, and I by about the third episode I could just about deal with it. But
I agree. I didn't know how to turn it from the. I wanted to put the original version on with the subtitles, but I didn't know how to do it.
aww.
Which is funny because I'm a technical producer and I couldn't change it on Netflix.
However, it wasn't the best television series of the last year.
Go on, Noah.
That either comes down to two BBC gritty dramas, which both
really?
feature
Line
Stephen
of
Gilliam.
Duty.
Line of
Uh,
Duty.
One of them is called Time, and the other is called The North
Oh.
Water.
Oh,
Not Line of
Time.
Duty. Which he was. Or was he in the series before?
Oh, he was in that long
Oh,
time ago.
I've not seen that series yet.
Time. Got Sean Bean in, about him being a prisoner, and Stephen Graham is
Probation officer.
Yeah, Stephen Graham is the the prison
Oh, right.
warden. That's really good. That's really tense, really bleak. Watch that all in one afternoon. Wouldn't recommend doing that. It takes you out, yeah. And And then the North Water is a sort of 19th century, the Terror-esque TV show with a barely recognisable Colin Farrell in, and Jack O'Connell and Stephen Graham. And that's about them going on the whaling expedition up in the North Water, of course. And each character is a little bit got a little bit sheepish, shall we say, and it's all about these characters embarking on this journey. But that for me was probably the all time. I haven't decided either of those two were probably the best television series of the 2021.
That brings us to the end of our 2021 wrap up. And if you haven't seen our best of highlight reel that James spent a lot of time making, I would highly recommend you watch that, because you can see all the laughs and all the amazing things we've said over the last year. And if you have been with us since the start, or even just joining the journey now, thank you very much. Don't forget to click subscribe.
Thank you.
Give us a good like, because it helps us out.
Give us a like, give us a comment, hit the bell, favourite all our videos, share it with your mates, share it with your mum, share it with your dog. I've been James.
I've been Jimmy.
I've
been Emma, and we've been collectively 4 struggling filmmakers. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. It's motor racing. Motor racing. It's called motor racing, Kodo.
Stop saying it.
I